Okay. So today we are the last tutorial for the units for information system and theory and practice. So today we're going to be able to implement an information system project. So from our indicative learning, we're going to look into implementing an information system project. So we will look into what are the project management stages and strategies for delivering a software or an information system. Also, we're going to look into developing an information system. We're going to look into the practical aspect, the coding, design, testing, and user experience, which will be delivered by the developers. Then we are evaluating an information system with the user evaluation, feedback mechanism, and testing. And we'll now conclude looking into how we can now improve our information system, how we can now change the request. We'll look into scalability, what is a bug fixing, and how to implement, how to plan a constant maintenance routine. So in our previous unit, we looked into how project management works, and how this is now done within a big firm, big companies. So from our flowchart here, we can see that we now have initial phase, which is where we now gather the idea, the information. Once we've collected all this information, we can now look into have a plan, a structure, and we'll see what is relevant and what is not. Also, we'll now look into the design, where we can now design our project, look into the time frame, the scope, using softwares such as Gantt chart, Trello, and other online software, which will allow us to plan the project. Then we'll now develop the information system, which will go alongside with the developing with our developers. Then we now have the deployment phase, where we now have to launch our information system, and then conclusively have to follow up and maintain the phase. So as we already know, a project has to be differentiated from a ongoing operations. So we now have some goals that has to be set aside, and we now have to establish what going to be the scope, timing, and cost for delivering the information system. Then also, by having this initial phase, this initial planning, we can now have to solve a couple of questions. We now have to look into why we're choosing to work with this project, how doable, how feasible it is, what could be the possible partners in our project, and how we can integrate more members in order to achieve the most from the project, and also what should be our outcomes, what should be the result. Once we've cleared up, made up, and understood what are going to be our objectivities, we now have to structure it. So we now have to plan this in To do so, we have to choose between our system development lifecycle. So as a manager, we will be now asked, we now have the obligation to understand which system development lifecycle will be most suitable for the team in order to deliver the information system. And this will be done through an effective use of MIS. Moving on, we will now have the designing phase, where as a project manager, you now have to work alongside with the developers and ensure that the storyboard or what has been drafted can be executable, can now be feasible, and also how it can now be improved. After the design, as we said, you have to start with the development phase, where everything that will be needed to implement the project will be now arranged. So you can see that potential suppliers or subcontractors will now be involved. So we'll have all the stakeholders that will now be involved for the development of the information system. Once all this has been done, you can now implement and deploy the service. And this is where we can now see how tangible and see if we've reached all the criteria, all the objectivities that we set at the beginning of our project. And the final phase will be now a follow-up, where we have to maintain, we have to gather feedbacks, information from our stakeholders in order for us to improve the product. Now, when it comes to developing information system, which we mentioned, well, has to work alongside with the project implementation. This phase will be now considered as the architectural phase of our system design. So where we have software architectures, DevOps engineers, and many other entities within the team who now come and work together in order to create a good design, and have a structure for the data which has to be stored. Once this has been done, we can now start with the actual construction. We can now move on the coding, where all the coding programming will now be laid out, and it has to be according to the design phase, the design that has been drawn. Once this is done, we can now hand over the code to other department, where we will have our software testers, where they will now test each single aspect of the system to see how the functionality and the performance are for the information system. Once our software testers have now executed as much testing as possible, they can now, it is now possible to deploy our end product, and we can now complete our system development lifecycle. So the system development lifecycle, which has been carried out for implementation for the project management, will now look alike for the development, where once it has been deployed, we can now have our user evaluation, which will come from our stakeholders, and we can now have the feedbacks, which will now allow us to improve the code. So once this has been done, we have to look into what could be the improvements. So as a user experience, which always understand what is wrong with the code. We will now constantly improve the product because there are loads of changes which will happen during information system, because we all know that technology never stops to evolve. Therefore, it's really important to cope with these changes, and the only way to do so is by constantly gathering and trying to improve the quality of the information system. Also, we have to look into scalability, where with this characteristic of a system, model or function that describe its capability to cope and perform under an increased or expanding workload. So in order for our information system to gather all these user experience, it is important that it is able to handle all this information and able to scale over the time all the data that will be now being stored. Also, another way to improve our information system is through bug fixing, where it might be used in specific company protocols for identifying and fixing bugs. As we can see, there are examples where IBM development team would now inform about all the bugs through authorized programming analysis reports. So as we can see, the MIS within IBS has been effectively structured, where the raw data or the issues that have been occurring will now be reported. Once this report is done, it can now be handed over to the developers, which can now fix the issue. So as you can see, one of the most common application of bug fix could be a technical protocol that is used to identify various type of bugs. Also, another way to improve our information system is through plant maintenance. So in order for us to ensure that the software is scalable, this has to be now scaled, and ensure that with a good plan, we can carry out regular maintenance and improve the quality of the software. And then conclusively, we now have a support phase, where after sales service provided by software publisher or vendor in the solving software conflict and usability program, with this supplying updates and patches for bugs and security holes within the program. So we can now look at a quick video which will shows us how this is delivered. Uh,
We made Wix websites way faster, achieving dramatic improvements for co-web vitals. How dramatic? 10 times dramatic.
Hi friends, this is Suma from softwaretestingmaterial.com. In this video, we are going to see software development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle, shortly SDLC. SDLC aims to produce high quality system that meets or exceeds customer expectations, works effectively and efficiently in the current and planned information technology infrastructure, and is inexpensive to maintain and cost effective to enhance. The process followed in a software project is SDLC. Each phase of SDLC produces deliverables required by the next phase in the life cycle. Requirements are translated into design. Code is produced according to the design. Testing should be done on developed product based on requirement. Deployment should be done once the testing was completed. A typical software development lifecycle consists of the following phases. First one, requirement phase, analysis phase, design phase, development phase, testing phase, deployment and maintenance phase. Let's see each and every phase in detail. First one, requirement phase. Requirement gathering and analysis is the most important phase in software development lifecycle. Business analyst collects the requirement from the customer or client as per the client's business needs and documents the requirements in the business requirement specification. Document name varies depends upon the organization. Some examples are Customer Requirement Specification, CRS, Business Specification, BS, Business Requirement Document, etc. And provides the same to the development team. Analysis phase. Once the requirement gathering and analysis is done, the next step is to define and document the product requirements and get them approved from the customer. This is done through Software Requirement Specification document. SRS consists of all the product requirements to be designed and developed during the project lifecycle. Key people involved in this phase are project manager, business analyst, and senior members in the team. The outcome of this phase is Software Requirement Specification. Design phase. This phase has two steps. HLD, High Level Design. It gives the architecture of the software product to be developed and is done by architects or senior developers. LLD, Low Level Design. It is done by senior developers. It describes how each and every feature in the product should work and how every component should work. Here only the design will be there and not the code. The outcome from this phase is high-level document and low-level document, which works as an input to the next phase. Development phase. Developers of all levels, seniors, juniors, freshers, involved in this phase. This is the phase where we start building the software and start writing the code for the product. The outcome from this phase is source code, document, and the developed product. Testing phase. When the software is ready, it is sent to the testing department, where test team test it thoroughly. They either test the software manually or using automated testing tools, depends on process defined in SDLC, and ensure that each and every component of the software works fine. Check out our video on SDLC and its phases for clear understanding on software testing lifecycle. Once the QA makes sure that the software is error-free, it goes to the next stage, which is implementation. The outcome of this phase is the quality product and the testing artifacts. Check out our video on test deliverables. We have discussed on list of the test artifacts we deliver in STLC. List out the test deliverables is one of the most popular interview questions. Deployment and maintenance phase. After successful testing, the product is delivered or deployed to the customer for their use. Deployment is done by the deployment or implementation engineers. Once when the customer start using the developed system, then the actual problems will come up and needs to be solved from time to time. The process where the care is taken for the developed product is known as maintenance. 100% testing is not possible because the way testers test the product is different from the way customers use the product. Maintenance should be done as per service level agreement. Let's see types of software development lifecycle models. Waterfall, Spiral, V model, Prototype, and Agile. The other related models are Rapid Application Development, Rational Unified Model, Hybrid Model, etc. We will see most important software development lifecycle models in detail in the upcoming videos. This is all about software development lifecycle. Thanks friends. If you have any queries, please comment below.
So the video summarized our indicative content where the system development lifecycle was covered at the same time when it comes for our project management and also for the actual development. Then we looked into how evaluating the information system would be, and also we looked into what could be the future improvement for our information system. So this was everything for today. Is there any question for me?
No questions.
Okay, so thank you very much guys for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow.